25 is after next year, I'm out of it.
The boxing world was stunned when Gervonta "Tank" Davis made a surprising announcement after his much-anticipated fight with Lamont Roach Jr. Fans were excited to hear his thoughts on the match, who he might fight next, and what's ahead for one of boxing's biggest stars. But instead, Davis took the post-fight press conference in a completely unexpected direction. In a moment that shocked everyone, he calmly announced that he plans to retire.
After our second fight.
You're out of it?
Yeah,
Care to elaborate on that?
out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
But Davis isn't retiring right away. Instead, he hinted that 2025 could be the year he hangs up his gloves. His announcement left reporters speechless, fans full of questions, and the boxing world buzzing with rumors. The way he said it didn't seem like a sudden decision, but something carefully planned. Is this just a smart way to get attention and boost his value, or is there something more personal going on? Some think he's tired of the politics in boxing or dealing with issues inside his own team. While a few believe he's using retirement talk as a negotiation strategy, others feel he might truly be losing his passion for the sport. One thing's for sure, there's more to this story than meets the eye. So let's take a closer look. What exactly did Tank say, and what might be the real reason behind this shocking news?
Are you retiring?
What changed? What made this shit trash?
When Tank Davis grabbed the mic after his fight, no one expected him to talk about retirement, but that's exactly what stole the spotlight. With cameras flashing and reporters all around him, he talked about how he performed in the ring, then casually said he doesn't see himself fighting past 2025. He didn't share an exact date or a clear reason, but his words were enough to set off a storm of speculation. Fans and boxing experts were instantly split. Was this just something he said in the heat of the moment, or was it a carefully planned decision? Some fans believe Tank has already achieved his goals, and retiring now would let him stay undefeated and protect his legacy. Others think it's a smart business move, a way to create hype and pressure promoters into giving him the biggest, most profitable fights before he leaves the sport.
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like the talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby? Usually they're around to.
You think you might be gaining love for it though? You never know.
But not everyone thinks this is just about money. Some insiders believe Tank Davis is dealing with deeper frustrations. Could he be tired of how boxing works, the politics, the business side, and constant negotiations? Top fighters like him are often pushed into fights that make the most money, not the ones that truly test their greatness. Maybe Davis feels stuck in a system that no longer motivates him. Or maybe he truly believes he's done everything he set out to do. One thing is clear, his comment didn't seem random. It felt planned, like something he had been thinking about for a while. That brings up the biggest question: is this really the beginning of the end of his career, or is there more to it? And if it was just a passing remark, why did it feel so carefully timed, especially now, when he's at the peak of his career?
A lot of talks about retirement. In the first press conference a couple of weeks ago, that mindset changed, and you said, I want to stay active this year. Is that something you still look forward for the remainder of the year, to have at least, if I'm not mistaken, 3 fights?
Yeah, hopefully we get 3 fights. You still have a call out at the end of Saturday? Certain call out?
Probably hear it.
Okay. Is it one person or a couple?
It's looking like one now.
Okay.
To really understand the weight of Tank Davis's announcement, we need to take a step back and look at his career, the challenges he's faced, and the bigger picture. This decision didn't come out of nowhere, the signs were there all along. At just 29 years old, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has already built a legacy that many fighters only dream of. He's an undefeated champion, known for his powerful knockouts, and one of boxing's biggest stars, selling out arenas and pulling huge pay-per-view numbers. His speed, power, and ability to end fights in seconds have earned him comparisons to some of the sport's all-time greats. From his early days as a young fighter under Floyd Mayweather's wing to becoming a dominant force across several weight classes, Tank's rise has been nothing short of incredible. In
like a boxing match. You turn right here. Boom. Yep.
Tank Davis has built a reputation as an unstoppable warrior, but his record doesn't tell the whole story. Even though he's been dominant, there's one common criticism that won't go away: he hasn't faced the very best fighters at their prime. Tank's name is respected, but whether it's feared depends on who you ask. While he has exciting wins on his record, some fans and experts say he's been carefully matched against opponents who weren't the toughest challenge. Yes, he's beaten big names like Leo Santa Cruz, Jose Pedraza, and Ryan Garcia, but were these fighters really at their best when they fought him? Meanwhile, top fighters like Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez are still waiting in the wings. These are not just good fighters, they're generational talents who could shape this era of boxing alongside Tank.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming this name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing. I'ma slap this when I see him.
Why is that, Tay?
I'm gonna really slap this shit up. I see him.
Teofimo?
Yeah.
What you think about Teofimo calling you and Crawford a brother?
I just said what I said.
When you look at like Devin Haney's situation when he went to go sue Ryan Garcia,
Yeah,
like
bitch.
is that do you?
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, cool. So okay, all right. So
Yeah,
But those big fights with top challengers have never happened. Fans want to see Tank Davis tested against fighters who are young, hungry, and at their best, not just opponents who have already passed their peak or moved up in weight. So if Tank really sees himself as the king, why would he leave now? Why step away when some of the biggest fights of his career are still waiting? Unless there's another reason. One major debate about Tank Davis isn't just who he's fought, but where he's fought them. He's been dominant in the lower weight classes, but many experts believe his biggest challenge will come at 140 pounds. He moved up to junior welterweight once, in 2021, to fight Mario Barrios. Even though Tank won by TKO, it wasn't an easy fight. Barrios, who was bigger and used his reach and movement well, gave Tank trouble early on. But Davis wore him down with his power and finishing ability. Still, that fight left fans wondering, can Tank truly dominate at 140 pounds? Since that fight, Davis has stayed in the lightweight, 135 pounds, and super featherweight, 130 pounds, divisions, where he usually has a size and strength advantage over most opponents. That's where some of the criticism comes from. Some people think he's staying in the lower weight classes to protect his undefeated record instead of proving himself against bigger, stronger fighters at 140 pounds. The best fighters don't just take the easiest path, they face the biggest challenges. Fighters like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez built their legacies by moving up in weight and taking on tough opponents. Even Ryan Garcia, someone Tank has already beaten, moved up to 140 to test himself. So why hasn't Tank done the same? If he really thinks he's one of the best in the world, why hasn't he moved up to fight big names like Teofimo Lopez, Regis Prograis, or Subriel Matias? Is it because his team doesn't believe he can dominate at a higher weight? Or is he just waiting for the perfect time and the right money to make his move?
He got to come to 145 so we can do a part 2. Is that something you do? He's not even at 145.
Whoever wants any smoke, come talk to me and we'll make it happen. 144.
Yeah, that's what he said. Our catch weight. He said we have to do a catch weight at 145. But why would it be 145? Why can't it be 140?
bro, if you look at the fight of Devin versus Ryan and me versus Ryan, it wasn't no difference. Go look at it.
What you think was the main difference? Because people say his power looked crazy in this time.
Go look at it.
Yeah.
His power didn't look crazy. He only had a hook where he knocked Devin out. Where he kept hitting him. He kept dropping him with a hook. He never dropped him with nothing else. But
for someone who's been fighting his whole life, could Tank's decision really be about taking an easier path? Or is there something bigger going on? If it's not about money or competition, then what's really behind the talk of retirement? That leads to another question. Who is really in control of Tank Davis's career? For years, Tank was seen as boxing's next big star, handpicked by Floyd Mayweather himself. With Mayweather Promotions managing him, Tank was promoted as the next big thing, a flashy, undefeated fighter with knockout power and superstar potential. While Tank's career grew financially, some boxing fans and experts began to wonder if Mayweather was actually holding him back. Floyd built his own legacy by taking tough fights, moving up in weight, and facing the best fighters. But as a promoter for Tank, Floyd seemed to take a different approach. Instead of pushing Tank into dangerous fights, Floyd carefully chose opponents who were easier matchups or timed fights to maximize money and reduce risk. This was a smart business move, but many believe it also slowed Tank's chance to become truly great. Over time, the tension between Tank and Floyd started to show. Tank, who once praised Floyd as a mentor, began to get frustrated with how his career was managed. There were rumors of disagreements behind the scenes, with Tank unhappy about the direction his career was taking.
A lose-lose situation now.
What
came out still on top?
With Floyd? What was the lose-lose situation? What you mean?
This little situation that he put me in to, make me lose. But he thought I was gonna lose. But
You talking about like
Tank wanted the big fights and real challenges, but Mayweather Promotions seemed to play it safe, focusing more on making money from pay-per-view than on building a true legacy. Then Tank made a move that surprised everyone. He left Mayweather Promotions. Now, as a free agent, Tank can take his career in any direction he wants. But with that freedom comes a tough truth. Is he realizing that he spent too much time being protected? Did Mayweather's influence keep him away from fights that could have made his legacy stronger earlier? If that's the case, is this why he's suddenly talking about retirement? Maybe he feels like he's lost valuable time under Floyd's guidance.
Yeah, boxing match.
Ooh, if you don't mind. If you don't want to, it's fine.
Joseph Pedraza, my first world title. I was 16-0. I was 16-0, 16-0, and I was.
Tank may feel like his chance to truly prove his greatness is slipping away. But if you think this is just about boxing, think again. There's more to the story, and it goes beyond titles, weight classes, or promoters. It's something much more personal: the pressure of fame, the dark side of success, and the toll it's taken on Tank Davis outside the ring. While Gervonta Davis remains undefeated in the ring, his life outside of it has been much more complicated. Over the years, he's faced legal issues, arrests, and public controversies, showing a different side of a fighter who hasn't always had full control over his own life. From domestic violence allegations to public outbursts and reckless driving, Gervonta Davis has made headlines for more than just boxing. Some fans see these as the usual troubles that come with being a young star with fame and money. But others believe it points to something deeper, a fighter who may be struggling with the pressure that comes with being in the spotlight. We've seen this before. Fighters like Adrian Broner were once undefeated, full of promise, and loved the spotlight. But personal problems, legal troubles, and lack of discipline eventually derailed their careers. Could Tank be worried the same thing is happening to him? Is his talk of retirement actually a sign that he's feeling burned out, overwhelmed, or trapped by the life he's built? Tank faces huge pressure. He's not just fighting opponents in the ring, he's also fighting the stress of fame, the expectations of fans, and the demand to be perfect, the perfect fighter, the perfect star, the perfect brand. That kind of pressure can be crushing. So when Tank says he plans to retire after 2025, could he really be saying something more? Could he be reaching a breaking point? And just when you think you understand his reasons, there may be something even deeper going on, something tied to who he is at his core. Some fighters are just built differently. They don't fight only for money, fame, or titles, they fight because it's in their nature. It's in their blood. They crave the thrill, the danger, the challenge of stepping into the ring against the best.
He's afraid of Shakur.
Afraid of what? Afraid of what? Us fighters, if we're afraid of somebody, it gotta be somebody hitting us and hurting us. Like, he don't have no offense. Everything is defense. Defense only win in basketball and football. That shit.
Fighters like Tank Davis are known for pushing themselves to the limit and proving they're the best by facing real warriors. By all accounts, Tank is one of those fighters. He grew up in the tough streets of Baltimore, where fighting wasn't just a sport, it was survival. His raw power, knockout ability, and fierce style have made him seem almost unbeatable. But for someone like Tank, just dominating opponents isn't enough. What happens when the fights stop feeling like real challenges? Look at boxing's biggest legends, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez. They built their legacies by taking risks, moving up in weight, and fighting stronger, more dangerous opponents, even when people said they couldn't win. That's what true warriors do. So the question is, has Tank been getting those kinds of fights? Or has he been stuck in a cycle of safe, predictable wins that don't really push him to his full potential?
Do you think his demeanor gonna change if he get in front of you?
Yeah, because they all pussy. They all pussy. You see what Keyshawn said when I said what I said on Twitter and try to provoke him. He don't like when people call him bitch. What I call him? To provoke him to do something. He ain't come with that same energy. He called me a crybaby because I'm light-skinned. Yeah, I bet.
Tank Davis might be waiting for a real challenge, a true test of his skills. But when a predator has no worthy prey, he can lose his sense of purpose. If Tank is looking around and seeing only small fights, politics, and promoters protecting their money, then maybe his talk of retirement isn't about quitting the sport completely. Maybe it's about leaving before he loses himself. For a fighter like Tank, motivation is everything. If he doesn't feel like there's something worth chasing, then every training camp, every press event, and every round in the ring can start to feel empty. And if that's what he's going through, then these next few fights before he retires could reveal everything about where his heart is, and whether he's still chasing greatness or just trying to escape the weight of it.
Should fight for the right to fight you?
You know what?
Do you think Shakur and Keyshawn should fight?
If Tank Davis is serious about retiring after 2025, then time is running out. He has a short window to cement his legacy, answer the doubts that have followed him, and silence his critics once and for all. The big question now is, who will he fight next? Fans want to see him take on the top names, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez. These aren't just good fighters, they're the best of his generation. If Tank retires without facing them, his legacy will definitely take a hit. It would leave behind a big what if, the question of whether he was truly the best, or just the most carefully managed fighter of his time.